Hey, it's Dustin in Dallas, lifelong A&M fan. Am I eternally cursed to never go better than 8-4 after that crap show against Miami, or is there actually hope for us? I mean, we just got dominated. Both lines thought we had the talent on at least the defensive line and couldn't get any pressure on Van Dyke. Is there any hope for us, or are we forever destined to never go better than 8-4? Then I call you guys. Hope y'all can answer it on the show. Love you guys. Y'all are keeping me sane. But not a lot of hope for us Aggies down here. Thanks. Bye.
I just don't know the proper way to internalize what happened, but it feels like a really, really, really bad loss for them.
I'd just like to point out real quick to continue what we were talking about. I'm guessing there were some Nebraska fans who would say that in 2014, right? Are we destined to just win 8-9 games a year? So just remember, it can always get way worse than the plateau that you're frustrated to be stuck on.
I'm a big bites of the apple guy. It's like, I know we've seen it, but we have not seen A&M be this talented and this well-funded and this everything that you need to be successful. If you just keep pushing it in the middle, at some point, something has to break. And I get all the Jimbo criticism, but I think my hot Jimbo take is that the talent that he has given you and the way that he is recruited is worth a lot of the game day complaints, because I'd rather listen.
Have a chance.
Yeah. It's like you were a lot more exciting under Kevin Sumlin, but that was not a program with a real solid foundation. And I think judging the foundation of A&M's program is a bit of a Rorschach test under Jimbo Fisher. But ultimately, you have a ton of talent. And I think if you have a bunch of talent, I mean, Ari, I'm talking your language here. It's the hardest thing to do is acquire talent. And he's doing that as good, if not better, and more consistently.
Well, the thing that's got to be the most frustrating part about this whole thing is that you would think at the very least that A&M's defensive line would have showed out in that game. Like, there were certain elements of the physicality, the size, and the speed that they've recruited onto that roster that should have shined through. And I don't think that Miami, and though Mario Cristobal's probably number one thing to fix when he got there would be the physicality up front, there are certain things that should transcend coaching and scheme, and that should just be like athleticism shining through and making plays to bail out coaches. I've watched a lot of teams with a lot of talent in my life just get bailed out by really good players who do amazing things. And I just don't know if I've seen enough A&M players doing amazing things in the games that I watch of theirs. And I don't know if that's a coaching issue. I don't know if that's an evaluation issue, but there's a certain look to it. And I think that the whole idea of the eye test is something that I think drives a lot of people crazy, especially when it's used as a criteria from the playoff committee, during conference calls to explain rankings. But we all watch football and we all know what it looks like when a team has it. You can see it, you can sense it, you can feel it. I felt it on Saturday in the Alabama-Texas game. And I can't remember the last time I watched an A&M game where I was like, holy shit, this team's got it. And they beat Alabama a few years ago with Haynes King, and that was really exciting.
Zach Calzada.
That's a good catch there.
Am I going to get yelled at if I say that game felt a little fluky at the time?
Probably. I mean,
okay. I'm just saying.
Well, if anything for you to try to win back a single Alabama fan to listen to the show, please feel free.
I was nice to them earlier. I was very nice to Alabama fans earlier. I said they're a quarterback away from being dominant. That's as nice as I can.
I think A&M has a quarterback like that. That would be one
yeah,
away from
that helps. Yeah, that helps.
They've got a quarterback. It seemed to me, and I was very curious with this one because you think back to the last year of Kevin Sumlin and that UCLA game and the way that they blew that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Sumlin era was over after that season opener in LA.
Yes.
We didn't seem like we had a big Tony Busby moment last night or today. It seemed like I mean, believe me, I pulled up Texags just to see like what the vibe was. It seemed, especially after Texas one, just to see how it was going over there. It seemed way more frustration about DJ Durkin, specifically coming off that game. It seemed like there's people are willing to let this play out a little bit more. Obviously, there's some really big SEC games coming up for them, but I feel like we may look back at that. I mean, they're still so talented, but we may look back at that one as maybe a bit of a turning point. But honestly, guys, maybe this is not naive of me to say, but I think that this talent acquisition can be maintained by another coach. Where A&M is at now.
In the NIL era, maybe.
I give him plenty of credit, right? I mean, pulling off the number one class is incredibly difficult, but I think if they were to hire the right coach next year, I think they will still recruit at a top 5 to 10 level.
Who is that though, Max?
Like Jeff Traylor? I mean, I don't know. Like I believe me, I don't have the list in my drawer here. There'd be a lot of people that would want it though. I promise you that in terms of the cash reserves over there. Like I think people know that is if you can build that thing in a way that's not dysfunctional, I'm with you, man. You should have a 12-team playoff contender all the time.
I wasn't huge on A&M coming into this year. I thought they had some upside. I wasn't all in on the they finally got it. But I did feel like, Max, after last year, some of the portal exits, the idea that these guys are not into it, it did feel a little bit like addition by subtraction in terms of culture and fixing it. And I felt like, you need to take care of business against this Miami game. And I think the one thing, and I mentioned this last night, the one thing, because I'm holding on to 65% of my A&M stock. I didn't have a ton before the season, but I'm holding on to a lot of it.
But you can't sell it now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do? But sell it from low? Would you have some gains you need to offset?
I don't think another 5 and 7.
No, you mentioned on the show you got rid of your Virginia Tech stock, and I'm like, you must have taken a bath on that. When did that?
No, I sold every bit of it before the season. Exactly. No, I think ultimately,
still, that's a penny stock. I mean, okay, all right. Sorry to hear that.
Did you buy a Subway sandwich?
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think there's a chance that Miami's just really good. And maybe Texas A&M is still a 9-10 win team. I don't think that's the case. But if we're looking up here in November and they're, 8-2, I'm not going to be fainting, being like, oh.
When Dave put you on the spot, Max, and said, who should that coach be? I would have just gone, Dion.
Prime. That's the auto answer now. Yeah. I mean, he's coaching the most interesting team in college football history, so why not?
It's true.
Why not?
I think I might have won Max over a little bit. He disagreed with my column, but I think I won him over a little bit this weekend. He got to experience the circus from the inside, and it is indeed a circus. This team, this whole situation.
I know that looks like they're running NBA Summer League up there.
I don't doubt that your next 5 columns this week will win me over too.
I do have a column running tomorrow, Max.
Of course,
it's in your honor.
Is it about Colorado?
Yes.
God,
it's about actually Matt Rule in Colorado, and Dion is inexplicable, indefinable, but clear skill at finding disrespect at all corners, and how. It's very stupid, but also it's definitely working.
So should I just be like, Dion, you suck, and then have it
I think you just made the next Colorado hype video, Ari.
And then I got to show up and get into a verbal conversation.
Your face is going to be on their locker room tomorrow morning.
Colorado is not ready for the Rams or something like that. Just give them something. Yeah.
I got to say, guys, A&M's defense was the problem. We're going back to that for a second, obviously. But A&M's offense didn't light the world on fire either. I mean, I think 2 of their touchdowns came after bad miscues on special teams. And I just don't know. Well, I guess like Dave likes to say, we'll see when it comes to how good Miami is. But I felt like that was a bad loss. And I don't know if we're at the point now where we've got to, kickstart the Jimbo discussion again. Hopefully we can push that off for a few more weeks, but I thought that was a bad one.